ChatGPT, Bing, Claude, Bard, and other LLMs can be used for any number of creative tasks, particularly when they're generating text as a part of that work. So this particular video will briefly focus on a couple of different types of assessment that can be generated using these generative AI tools. And I've already generated these just to avoid any unforeseen situations. But in the first case here, I have provided the prompt at the top, provide a creative rubric for scoring a map of Canada created by an undergraduate GIS student. And we're using ArcGIS Online. So you'll notice with most of these rubrics, you wanted to define the target audience, define any parameters they have, such as tools, and of course, try to define the objective. What is it that the product is that is to be evaluated? And remember, these generative AI tools aren't going to get it perfect, but they should get you in the ballpark, and they should greatly reduce your time to develop content, especially something like a rubric, which it's outputted here, which can take substantial effort to produce. Not just identifying the categories, but then identifying the scoring at each level with enough information that it provides the proper guidance to students. So LLMs, or at least ChatGPT, I'm using version 4 in this particular case, will generate a very nice rubric and provide you a little, essentially a worksheet that you can copy paste into a Word document and print out and then use it to assess student work. So in the second prompt here, we're really just asking ChatGPT to create a prompt that will describe a piece of writing that we are using to assess student knowledge. So some instructors will make writing prompts for writing an essay, they're very short. And we could certainly ask ChatGPT to reduce the complexity or the size of this prompt, but by default, without a whole lot of extra guidance, you'll see that this is what the style of prompt that it might generate. And it is substantial. So the prompt itself is probably getting about as long as the writing. In this case, where we're asking for 500 words from the students. That's okay. We can ask ChatGPT to summarize or to shorten these kinds of prompts if this is unnecessary. But it does work. So the other thing that we can do with something like ChatGPT is we can always use it to write something like a multiple choice test for undergraduate students in Geology 101 who recently studied, let's just say, tectonic boundaries. And I do have to spell this at least close. Tectonic boundaries. We might say each question should have 4 options with 1 correct answer, and then provide an answer list. And that should get us in the ballpark. Now, we might specify how many multiple choice we want, how many items we want. So let's just say 10 multiple choice. Normally, again, what you'd probably do is specify the age of the student. If you're in a multilingual, if you're in a multilingual class, you could specify the language. You might specify what kind of I don't know what kind of nuances there might be around this particular class, additional, learning conditions. So as you can see on screen, uh, in this case, ChatGPT has no problem generating some potential questions. Now, if you do this for actual practice, I would recommend generating more questions than you need, because 2 or 3 of these are probably going to be tossed out. But there are 3 examples of how you can use large language models and generative AI to create assessments with and around GIS in your classroom.